China and Trump or Russia and Trump.
He's got therapy, Mr. Raskin.
No. You need therapy. You're the one who's involved with the deranged politician, not me. Joe Biden, and you have not identified a single crime.
You are
really?
lying.
Really?
Answer this question. No, what did the Bidens do? What business were they in? Why did they get millions and millions of dollars? Time was expired.
No, you interrupted me. I want my time
expired.
Time. Let me start with this. My last name is Raskin.
Did not ask him a question.
You certainly did. You said, did you see this?
Today's hearing is an opportunity to understand what the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, is and what it seeks to achieve in conducting warfare against the United States right now without having to fire a single shot.
GOP members of Congress have thus used Russian-generated disinformation to call democratic Ukraine an enemy of the United States, to deny the people of Ukraine desperately needed military help, and to try and impeach the President of the United States, who has committed no offense, much less an impeachable one.
Ranking Member yields back on his opening statement about the threat from China, I think. I'm pleased to introduce our witnesses here today. Colonel Grant Newsham is a retired U.S. Marine.
I wonder if you can help us figure out where we've come as a committee, Professor Snyder. About a year ago, our GOP colleagues began heralding an FBI form, FD 1023, that recorded allegations that President Biden acted corruptly in Ukraine and tried to promote these as credible allegations. It turned out that these were lies, and the person who was promoting them has been indicted for lying to the FBI and constructing a false record. It turns out that he was up to his neck in connections to Russian foreign agents, and yet our colleagues at various points called this a smoking gun, said it showed proof that the Bidens took bribes, and so on. Chairman Jason Smith, for example, said this was a smoking gun, and it was the definitive proof that the Bidens took bribes. It's obviously been dropped, and yet this was the genesis of our investigation. How do we understand?
That's just simply not true, but go ahead.
I'll yield to the chairman if you want to take some more time.
No.
Well, you can use your time.
Are you saying the bank statements are Russian disinformation, that the Bidens took $9,000 from China?
I agree you've been talking about bank statements for more than a year, but they don't show anything other than there was no crime.
So it's okay for, as Tony Bobolinsky said, for China to bribe Joe Biden's family with $9 million.
But that's the lie that's been discredited. I mean, where is your impeachment investigation? If Joe Biden took a $9 million bribe from China, why aren't you impeaching him for that?
Well, who says we're not?
Well, I can invite Mr. Moskowitz to come back in. Do you want to move for impeachment today? Because I thought that was your main agenda item. You said it was the paramount priority of the committee.
No, this is a hearing on China, and you all have an obsession with Russia and Trump. It's disturbing.
We can talk about China and Trump or Russia and Trump.
You need therapy, Mr. Raskin.
No. You need therapy. You're the one who's involved with the deranged politician, not me, okay? I've divorced myself from Donald Trump a long time ago. You're the one who needs to disentangle from that situation. And I will tell you this. If you believe that it would have been illegal for Joe Biden to take $5 million from Ukraine, it certainly would have been. What do you think about Donald Trump taking more than $5 million from the Chinese government while he was president?
Well, we know that Donald Trump had a legitimate business that he talked about and he campaigned on.
The legitimate business was the White House. He sold the White House.
Oh, give me a break.
What
business were the Bidens in? Well, what business did Joe Biden's family own? What business were they in? Did they have hotels? Did they have a social media company? Did they have golf courses? Did they have casinos? Did they have office buildings?
Mr. Chairman.
What business? Did they have an energy
Mr. Chairman, we have spent tens of millions of dollars pursuing Joe Biden, and you have not identified a single crime.
You are lying. That is a lie. We have not spent $10 million.
Hey, how much have you spent?
We haven't spent hardly anything.
Oh, it's been for free. Okay. All right. Well, in any event, you know what? Then we get what we paid for it because you got nothing. You got nothing on Joe Biden.
No. Answer this question. What did the Bidens do? What business were they in? Why did they get
can I answer
millions
that?
and millions of dollars?
Well, no, I would like
Can
to
I
ask you
answer
a
what
question.
you
No,
did?
you start. What
Okay,
did the Bidens do?
I don't know
What
who you're
business
talking
were they
about.
in?
Well, what business is the Comers in? You're talking about lots of people. There's lots of people in the family.
I'm a farmer.
Your
I have
impeachment-
land. I
Your
lease land.
impeachment
I sell honey.
investigation must identify
What did
a
the
high
Bidens
crime and
do?
misdemeanor.
What did they do?
I'll
for
tell
the
you what Joe
millions of
Biden
dollars?
did. He was a senator of the United States. Then he wrote a book, and he said he made the most money he ever made in his life, millions of dollars on his book, and he gave $1 million
That's
away
what
to
his
charity.
family did. That's why Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Romania, China, Russia, that's why they paid the Biden family money, because of Joe Biden.
None of those governments paid anyone any money.
Somebody needs therapy here, but it's nobody on our side of the aisle, okay?
All right,
Because
enough.
no,
Back to the
honestly,
China hearing. Back to the China
you
hearing.
had your chance.
Order.
I would
order.
like my time restored.
Well, no, your time was
I would like
expired.
you-
I've
no,
given
you
3
interrupted
extra
me.
minutes.
I want my
No,
time
you had
restored.
your time. You went above, and I let Miss Thornton go a minute.
You know what?
Here, sit down, everybody. Come back. This is about China. We asked a simple question. No, Miss Presley, you're out of order. Sit down.
Mr. Chairman,
You're out of order.
Mr. Chairman,
No.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
can I make a motion that we take a break for 5 minutes?
We're going to keep going. We'll let the record show that Mr. Raskins could not answer the question.
First of all,
what did the Bidens do to receive the money?
Let me start with this. My last name is Raskin, okay? We've sat next to each other for more than a year. You don't have to add the S. Number 2, I would like my time restored. And number 3,
No, you have
not
your time. You're
identified
out
a
of
single
order.
crime.
No.
Well, what is the crime that you want to impeach Joe Biden for and keep this nonsense going?
Well,
Why? What is the crime? Tell America right now.
Well, you're about to find out.
What
very
is the
soon.
crime?
You're about to find out
Name
very
it.
soon. Chair
We
now
inhabit
recognizes
a
Mr.
propaganda
Biggs from
experiment.
Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair now recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is a very important hearing we're having today, and I'd like to take a little time to respond to some misinformation that has been spread here. Mr. Snyder, you said in your opening statement that the fact that there are neo-Nazis in the Ukrainian military is disinformation, a disinformation trope, and a Russian denazification meme. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit for the record this 2021 Time magazine article titled "How a White Supremacist Militia Uses Facebook to Radicalize and Train New Members" about the Ukrainian neo-Nazi Azov Battalion.
Without objections ordered.
Thank you. Time also put together a piece only 3 years ago, and it's quite an extensive video that gives full information about the Nazis in Ukraine and their recruitment efforts that go all around the world. It's amazing to me that just in a few years' time, it's now considered misinformation to talk about the Nazis in Ukraine. The United States federal government is doing everything they can here in Congress, persuading members of Congress with every lobbyist from foreign countries and groups, trying to tell us to send $100 billion overseas, and we're doing nothing for our border. So when you want to talk about misinformation, Mr. Snyder, you might actually look a little closer to American media if you don't like what they're saying. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Mr. Chairman, does he have the opportunity to respond to the gentlelady?
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him a question,
No, her
Mr.
time's
Raskin.
expired.
You asked multiple questions.
I did not ask him a question.
You certainly did. You
Mr.
said, did you see
Raskin.
this?
Time has expired. Gentlelady's time's expired. Without objection, all members have 5 legislative days within which to submit materials.
Mr. Chairman, we're doing closings?
I hadn't planned on it.
Oh, but your staff had told us that we were doing
Okay,
it.
I will yield you, how much you told me?
Just like 45 minutes, something like that. So.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm happy to take a minute or two, whatever you think we need to close today.
Take a minute.
Yeah, you're very kind and generous, Mr. Chairman.
I think this is a problem because what we've seen by Dr. Fox, who's presiding over her own committee hearing down the hall on anti-Semitism in our public universities, is that we've got a lot of indoctrination that's taking place. in our universities that's anti-democratic. I believe is what's fueling a lot of the support for Hamas among the seems like growing faction of the Democrat Party now. So this is something
There's not a single member of our party who supports Hamas.
that seems to be a very huge issue in America, the disinformation campaign that's taking place in our universities. But where's it being funded? The committee stands adjourned.